Hello and welcome back to the Squirrel Heed YouTube channel, and welcome to the next preview in the Liverpool game. Now I'm going to obviously talk a little bit about the West Ham game and stuff like that, which ended up 2-2. Didn't do a full review of it because I was here, there and everywhere over the weekend, and I've just come back today from Manchester as well. Been at work as well since then. I've been up for about 38 hours, I think, so I'm running on empty a little bit at the moment, which is probably why I'm not as dynamic as I could be, because it's a lot of energy. But talk about that just a little bit. Liverpool looked complacent when we got a very good start. 5 minutes in, Lallana gets a good goal, and then from there, Dimitri Payet gets a free kick, goes in. Karius very much could have done a lot better at that one, and then Antonio gets a goal as well. Straight after the second half begins, 2 minutes in, Origi gets a goal. Put so much pressure on West Ham. We put so much pressure on, and we just could not get the final result to go our way. It ended up as a draw. I said one of the worst results that we could get would be a draw, but it's not really when we look at the rest of the table that is around us. Man City dropped an absolute bollock losing to Leicester, so that helped us out a little bit because it means that we now are still, I think, 3 points away from Arsenal, now 6 points away from Chelsea, because Chelsea are going to keep winning, and Man City are behind us by 1 point. Tottenham are behind us by 4 points, I believe. So, I mean, it's not looking too bad. It's not looking dire as of yet, but it's one of those. We were bound to have these times in the season where we're not going to perform like we have. Like, maybe this is where we benefit from the start of the season that we've actually had. After we lost to Burnley, I think we then got a draw after that as well, and then we went on a good streak of wins, and it was all good. Maybe we can do the same again. I'm not entirely sure we will. I think we're going to come up against tight games now, against some opposition that maybe we should be beating. When you look at where West Ham are in the table, they're sitting 17th, 1 point above the drop zone, or something like that. So that's just one. I remember reading it, and I'm pretty sure that's where they are at the moment. You know, our last 6 games aren't looking too great right now either. And we come up against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough actually sits 16th in the table as well. They are getting some results here and there, but they're not necessarily getting enough. You go through theirs, they beat Bournemouth. We didn't. Look at that, that's unbelievable. They got a draw against Man City, they lost against Chelsea. They got a draw against Leicester, 1-0 against Hull, and lost 1-0 against Southampton. We drew against West Ham, lost catastrophically against Bournemouth, won against Leeds, Sunderland, draw against Southampton, and we got a 6-1 victory at Watford. There's every chance that we could do that sort of thing again, where we get those types of victories and get a good streak going as well. Obviously now there's still a lot more questions being asked of Karius, obviously. Matip a little bit at the weekend as well, but I think Karius has been the one that has come in for the most criticism anyway, and in particular the Neville brothers, or as people are now coining them, the Mitchell brothers, against Karius. But he's coming out defending himself, and I can only applaud that. So I'm going to move into my team selector for the first time in a long time. Now, team selector, I've actually got 2 different team selectors, because we'll have on Monday Night Football, on the 19th, I believe it is, we will have Monday Night Football against Everton, and that's going to be a big game, and I'm wondering whether he's going to ring some changes in here. This is the one that I would go with if we were going to go full strength. Obviously, Karius in goal, I would say I would still put Karius in goal, because I think he's as I said before in one of my other videos where I was talking about the David De Gea sort of thing as well, where he'd made some mistakes as well, but they stuck with him, put him in the team anyway, and eventually he got better and better and better, and look where he is now. Same thing I would do with Karius. I think if that defence, the only difference I would change with that defence really is if Lovren is injured, because apparently he went off injured at the weekend as well. So I'd maybe actually start with maybe Klein, Klavan, and Matip, and obviously Milner at left back, because the Sky website doesn't acknowledge him as a left back. Okay, pretty much standard midfield sort of. Well, it says midfield. Obviously, Firmino will be playing out wide. I would say Mane would be out wide as well, and Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Lallana will be your midfield 3, and then it'd be Origi. Now it depends where Origi would end up starting. I imagine he's a striker. You put him through the middle, and he will get goals. He's scored 4 in his last 4 games now. So I think there's obviously some dead certs in that team. There's some people that are dead certain to start in that team. But with the Everton game coming up as well, and you want to have that be a very good game as well, one where we can pick up a victory. Everton are not playing very well lately. We need to take advantage of that, which brings me on to team selector number 2, which starts with Mignolet in goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side, Klavan, Matip, and then Moreno, who's barely got a look in this season. Emre Can in midfield with Henderson and Lallana, Firmino, Mane, and Origi. So some dead certs in that team if they're fit, if everyone is absolutely firing and ready to go for this match. These are the ones that I would go for. These are the two. So if I'm looking ahead to the Everton game, and I'm trying to look ahead and plan ahead, I would be maybe go, for the Middlesbrough game, I would go with this lineup here with Mignolet and Moreno and Alexander-Arnold, only because maybe it's time to get Mignolet in there and see what he can actually do. Now, the problem that you've got, obviously, with Mignolet is that he's not that much better, if he is better at all. But maybe it's a time to get Karius out of the spotlight a little bit, get him out of the news, because most of the news articles about Liverpool lately have just been about Karius and the way that he's being portrayed in the media and stuff like that, you know. So maybe it's time to get him out there. Likes of Klein will play every single game of the season if he could. But maybe it's, you know, give him a little bit of a break here or there. Alexander-Arnold played very, very well when he's come into the team. Moreno maybe deserves a shout in the team as well. He's not going to get much of a look in with the way Milner's been playing. Maybe give him a shot in a game like this. I'm not sure. Because Middlesbrough, even though, look at their league position, they can be a very troublesome team to come up against. I think they've had some games where Middlesbrough, like when they came up against Man City and everyone thought Man City were going to slaughter them, and they didn't. It was actually a really difficult match. They can make it very difficult. They beat Bournemouth and kept a clean sheet as well. They got a draw against Leicester, which was probably a more disappointing one for them. Got a win against Hull and lost just to Southampton as well. Middlesbrough are no joke of a team, and they're a team that we have to take seriously, which is why in my team selector I'd maybe like to see, in both team selected options, I'd put Klavan in there. I don't want to, you know, I've got nothing against Lucas playing in defence, but I want an actual defender in there if Lovren isn't going to be able to play. Sakho's never going to get a look in at all at Liverpool and will most likely be sold, unfortunately. I still think we should be using him, especially... I would have just... My dream when we knew we were getting Matip, my dream was to have Matip and Sakho as the partnership in defence, but that's never going to happen, I don't think. Klavan, I would definitely have in there. Matip, definitely have in there. No matter how, you know, Matip will keep playing well. He will play well. He has been one of our most consistent players while we've been playing. And when we were on our streak of 15 games unbeaten, he was one of the players down to that. Middlesbrough are definitely going to cause us some problems, I guarantee it. They are going to cause us some problems. They've got some aerial threats. If Negredo's playing, he scored a couple of goals against Liverpool in the past for Man City. He's a danger man, and he can pop up from anywhere. Sometimes he can be very, very, very quiet, but then he'll pop up with a goal, either a headed goal or whatever. He can just pop up with goals, and they've got some good goal scorers when they're on their day. Yes, they're 16th in the Premier League, but we cannot take... The thing with the Premier League is that you cannot take any team for granted. Any team can pop up and just be like, we're playing Liverpool today. We are going to absolutely go for it today. I want everybody up for it, and we're going to try and do the best that we can. You know, at best get a draw. If we get anything more, bang, we could get a win against Liverpool, something like that. That's what we've got to watch out for. Got to try not to, if we get an early goal, try not to get complacent. Just keep going like we were start of the season, first 10 games of the season, something like that. When we were getting good, consistent wins, everything like that. I think that's what we've got to be doing moving into this game. Now, this game, it's very, very difficult to predict. But I'm probably going to go for the same scoreline I was predicting for the West Ham game, and I'm going to go for 2-1 Liverpool. We're away from home, but I still think that we can pick up the result. I think that Origi will definitely score. I think Origi will probably be, you know, I think this is Origi's game to take it by the scruff of the neck, take his opportunity massively. And the same with the likes of Mane. If Mane and that are going to be playing, Mane, Firmino, Lallana, all that lot, they have got to be a bit more clinical. If they're clinical in that West Ham game, that could have been a cricket score. That really, really could have been. And let's not forget that absolute blinding shot by Henderson as well, which he just rips out from 30 yards and saved by Randolph. We've got a lot of potential in this team to do a lot of damage against teams, and we have to be more clinical. But I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit and go for a 2-1 victory for Liverpool. That's being quite conservative, I would say, but also realistic. I think that it could end up a draw, but I'm really hoping that it doesn't. I'm wanting to go for the win. I'm wanting to try and stay positive, and I'm wanting to go to bed. So I'm going to wrap this one up, okay? If you've enjoyed this video, please drop a like on the video. Share your comments in the comments below as well. Let me know what you think. What's your prediction? Give me your team selection as well. Who do you think is going to start in this game? Who do you think is going to miss out? Maybe the likes of Woodburn, and that could also end up on the subs bench as well. Maybe get an appearance in. Maybe change the dynamism a little bit. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.